Hello, guys. Welcome. Today I'm here to talk to you guys about a really awesome children's book that I just read called Ada Twist Scientist. It is by Andrea Beatty and it is illustrated by David Roberts. And I really love the illustrations of this book. I don't know if you can tell from by the cover, but this book is a STEM focused book, and I love the cover and how it has all these different equations and all those different things on the front. I feel like the cover of this book draws you in. Even if you don't know what it's about, you're like, that's interesting. Let me pick it up. So let me tell you a little bit about this book. So in this book, you're following Ada Twist and her family, her mom, her dad, and her brother. And they're on this journey to try to figure out who Ada is. Ada is this baby that they've had, and they thought she was going to do one thing, and she has totally like flipped the script and she's doing her own thing. Ada says, I'm just going to keep y'all guessing. So from the very beginning of this book, she keeps you guessing. And I really love that about this book. It wasn't just the type of book that when you're reading, you can tell what's going to happen. I like that as you're reading, every time you turn the page, you're like, wow, something new is happening. And I love how they incorporated the STEM aspect into just Ada's life as she was growing from a baby all the way up into this young child. And another thing that I really love about this book is the way that it is written. I feel like it's a book that children of all ages would love. This book rhymes, and I absolutely love when children's books rhymes. I think it makes it fun, and as you're reading, it kind of gets you like in a rhythm where you can kind of like, okay, I like that. And so I really love that about this book. Another thing that I love about this book is, which I'm going to read it to you. On the very first page, you're introduced to Ada, and this is what it says. Ada Marie, said not a word till the day she turned 3. She bounced in her crib and looked all around, observing the world, but not making a sound. And then this is a picture of Ada's little room and her crib. And I really love that part of the book. When I opened the book and I read that first page, I was like, oh, yes, I'm going to love this book. Because I love that obviously this book has a STEM focus. And so for me, I know when I think of something that has like a STEM focus or someone who works in STEM, you automatically think this person who is just like brilliant and smart. And from the very beginning, like when they were children, they were doing like these profound things and they were just so awesome and so amazing and like above everyone else, you know. But I loved at the beginning of this book, it talked about how like Ada didn't say a word until the day she turned 3. And when you think about kids, obviously most kids do start talking before they're 3, you know. And so I love that that just showed that even though Ada may not have been your typical baby, that she was still able to do like this great thing, that you can be different, that you can be unique, and you can still do awesome and amazing things. To never let your beginning determine what your end is going to be like. Even if she started out a little lower than most kids, that she winded up doing this amazing thing. And I really, really love that about this book. Another thing I like about this book is I love, once again, like the artwork. The artwork is really amazing in this book, and that's why I said I think whether it's a big kid or a younger child, they would love reading this book because the book, it has lots of colors, it's very fun, and it just keeps you, like I said, guessing and wanting to read more. Another thing that I really, really loved about this book, not only, like I said, is a STEM-focused book, and it talks about Ada not being like your typical child. I like that it focuses on girl. A lot of times when you read books that have to do with STEM and science, it's always a male is the main character. And so I love in this main character, although Ada does have a brother, the book is not about her brother. It is about Ada and her journey, and I really love that. Another thing that I love about this book is that the family in this book is a minority family. I like that the family in this book is African American. I feel like a lot of times when you read books like this, you don't see the family or the characters being, you know, African American or maybe Hispanic or anything like that. They're typically not very diverse books. And so I love that the author not only chose a diverse family, but also like a child who maybe is like neurodiverse, since it talks about Ada not talking until she turned 3. And so I really just like that. I feel like that's one of the things as a child, like if I was reading this book, I would be like, wow, I could be like Ada too, because I look like Ada, or this is how my family looks, or maybe I don't do, you know, things like typical other kids do. So I really, really love that about this book. I feel like it's very relatable. And so I really love that. Another thing that I loved about this book, can you guys tell that I like this book because I keep saying I love this and I love that. I love that the things they talked about in this book, like it kind of brought in facts, and I love how it showed how Ada asked a lot of questions. On this page here, it's talking about how Ada was always asking her family questions, and it's showing like all the questions that she asked. And so I really just love that it shows kids that like there's nothing wrong with asking a lot of questions. Like that's how you find out things, and it just shows, I guess, a little bit more about who Ada is. And so yes, I really love this book. And if this particular author, Andrea Beaty, this is my first time reading a book by her, but it definitely will not be my last. If you check this book out and you're like, I like it, she has a bunch of different books. And what I love about all of her books, they all have a STEM focus, but they also all include characters that are diverse. A lot of her books include female characters, so yay for that. And it's also characters that are diverse. So she has another book about a girl named Rosie who's going to be an engineer, if I'm not mistaken. And so that one was really cool. It really looked like it would be a good book. I think I'm going to check that one out next from my library. And yeah, so thank you guys for joining me today. If you've read this book or any other books, let me know. And I hope you guys go check this book out because it is really, really awesome.